Okay, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
Today we're tackling something that, well, it's pretty deep in how our generation thinks about life, work, all of it, really.
Yeah, the whole follow your passion thing.
Exactly. But what if that's not the whole story? We're unpacking this really interesting essay today that kind of throws a curveball,
Uh-huh.
suggesting maybe passion by itself isn't the magic key,
Yeah,
that something else is missing, critically missing.
that's right. And our mission really is to explore that viewpoint. The argument that alongside passion, maybe even like guiding it, we need logic.
Right.
It's not saying stop feeling things strongly, not at all, but it's about understanding why, at least according to this source, actually getting where you want to go. Building a life that, lasts and feels good requires marrying logic to that initial spark.
So where does the essay kick things off? It seems to tap right into that message we all heard growing up, right? You can be anything.
Oh, yeah. That one.
And the source suggests that somehow kind of morphed into this belief that if you just find your passion and follow it, everything else just clicks into place. Joy, success, the whole package.
And right there, that's where the essay makes a really key distinction. It pushes back on just following passion like it's the destination itself.
Okay.
Instead, it frames it as follow purpose, but do it passionately.
Okay, so passion isn't the place you're going.
Exactly. It's how you travel. It's the energy, the intensity, maybe
Yeah.
the fuel, but the direction, the actual where are we heading. That needs something else.
The logic piece.
The logic piece. If passion's the spark, logic is the kindling, and maybe the map.
So the argument is we need to objectively interpret life, our feelings, decisions, using a more grounded, logical frame of mind.
Yeah, head and heart. Not the same thing, but separate things you need to learn to merge.
To integrate.
And the source actually lays out some pretty compelling reasons why logic isn't just like a nice to have, but essential for a genuinely better life. It looks at different areas where just running on passion can lead you off track.
All right, let's dig into some of those.
Oh.
If logic's the key, how does it help with something basic like what we want? The essay says passion chases intense desires, but logic helps us choose.
Right. Think about it. The immediate passionate pull is usually towards whatever feels most exciting right now, the quickest hit.
A high.
Yeah, the high. But what if you want conflicting things? The essay uses that example, wanting a day off today versus, say, wanting to build a solid retirement fund or grow your business for the future.
Okay, I remember that.
Passion yells, day off, now. But logic steps back and goes, hang on. Choosing the harder thing now, the long-term thing, is actually what makes more days off possible later.
Makes sense.
So if you only ever choose based on the biggest immediate feeling, you can get stuck chasing short-term highs that actually undermine your bigger, ultimate goals.
It's that difference between what you want now and what you want most.
Exactly. Well put.
And the essay takes this logic thing into relationships too, doesn't it? Quite strongly.
It really does. It suggests relationships built only on passion are basically built on those fleeting highs we just talked about. Logic, though, grounds a relationship in purpose. And that purpose is defined as something, deeper than just attachment or ego or I don't want to be alone. It's love, but in a more sort of enduring, chosen sense.
Yeah, I talked about confusing that initial intense passion with love itself.
Precisely. If you think that feeling is what love is, then when that hormonal high inevitably fades a bit.
You think it's over? Or something's wrong?
Right. You might even start blaming your partner. The source says people get super indecisive, constantly asking, do I really love them? Because they're waiting for this permanent state of intense feeling.
Which isn't realistic.
Probably not, no. Real commitment, the essay argues, needs grounding in something more stable. Shared values, goals, mutual respect, affection. Yes. But not just defined by how intense it feels moment to moment. It's a choice. Backed by feeling, not just feeling itself.
This theme of seeing clearly, objectivity, seems really central.
Yeah.
The essay contrasts passions, like subjective bubble, with logic's ability to see the bigger picture.
Absolutely. When you're totally swept up in passion, your view can become very singular. It's your truth, loud and all-consuming. But logic lets you step back. It allows you to see, okay, my perspective is valid, but hey, so is someone else's, even if it's totally different. The essay puts it bluntly. Passion without a check on reality, without objectivity, can actually become destructive. It just struggles to see anything outside its own intense beam.
That reality check feels so important, especially when we think about the future. The source argues logic helps us decide for the person we want to be,
Yeah.
while passion might keep us making choices based on who we are now or even who we used to be.
It's a really interesting point. The essay suggests that sometimes that intense feeling we label passion is actually coming from a place of, like, familiarity. Maybe it's answering an old question we didn't know we were asking, or trying to prove something from our past.
Like repeating a pattern.
Could be. That reckless high can feel like you're surging forward, but the source cautions it might actually mean you're stuck in an old story. And it says, kind of provocatively, that a true sign you're actually moving forward is often not knowing exactly where you're going.
Because you're navigating based on future potential.
Right, not based on some script your past self wrote. You're aiming for who you hope to become.
And this connects to the essay's point about dreams versus potential, right? Living for the future potential versus chasing maybe past ideas.
Yeah, exactly. The usual passion story is find your wildest dream, go all out for it.
We hear that everywhere.
We do, but the source argues that can leave you constantly feeling less than because you're chasing this often super idealized thing. The logic narrative is different. It prompts you to ask why you have that dream. What are your actual capabilities? What's your potential? Let's focus on maximizing that.
So build from what's real.
Build from what's real. And the essay suggests, often, by logically looking at your potential and working hard, you end up achieving amazing things anyway, sometimes similar to the dream, sometimes. Actually realizing the initial dream wasn't quite right for you once you examined it logically.
It sounds like logic helps untangle our real motivations. The essay also mentioned passion and attachment.
It did. It links passion in this sense to being attached to a specific feeling or an idea of how things should be.
Like expecting to always feel passionate about your job.
Exactly. People imagine a passionate life means feeling amazing constantly. But logic brings in the reality check. Life includes hard days. Any worthwhile thing, great job. Loving a relationship, building something is going to have moments that are tough or frustrating or even just boring. Logic helps foster that attitude of, okay, this is hard right now, but I'll do what it takes. And the essay argues that it's this resilience, built through logic and commitment, that develops the coping skills you need to push through challenges until they seem less difficult.
That I'll do what it takes attitude sounds like it comes from choice, not just waiting for a feeling, which kind of links to the point about gratitude.
Perfectly. The source argues gratitude isn't just a feeling that washes over you, it's fundamentally born of logic.
How so?
It's an active choice. You logically choose to direct your focus to what you're fortunate for, what you appreciate, what you're proud of. Cultivating gratitude isn't about passively waiting to feel thankful, it's a logical practice. You train your brain to look for the good, and so you find more of it, which is key for actual satisfaction.
So logic helps frame our past, our future, relationships, even our present mood through gratitude. What about dealing with difficult emotions, the messy stuff?
Yeah, this is where it gets really practical. Logic, the essay says, is the tool you use to kind of dismantle irrational or painful emotions. How?
By evaluating them. Where did this feeling come from? Is it actually useful? Does it signal something I need to act on? Passion, on the other hand, often tries to fight a bad feeling by chasing a good one, like using a high to cancel out a low.
Which the source said was like trying to grasp water.
Exactly. Slippery. Logic helps understand how the head and heart interact. Passion sometimes thinks of the same thing. Logic is what can calm that internal chatter, that, what did it call it? The monkey mind.
Yeah, that paints a picture. And the essay also suggested that sometimes the sheer intensity of chasing passion might be a red flag.
Yes, it makes that case, that sometimes that obsessive, almost frantic pursuit of passion in work or love might actually come from a place of lack.
Lack of what?
Maybe trying to fill an internal hole, or run away from a problem, or avoid facing some uncomfortable truth about yourself or your situation. The source contrasts this with genuine soulful things, which it describes as feeling more peaceful, not hysterical or manic.
So that desperate, intense need for a passionate thing might actually be an escape attempt, trying to get away from yourself, maybe.
Wow. Which then leads to another pretty blunt point the source makes. Just wanting something passionately doesn't mean you're qualified for it.
Oof. Yeah, that's direct. The essay is really clear. Saying I'm passionate doesn't magically get you the job, the promotion, the apartment, the relationship.
It points out reality.
It does. People who actually succeed usually have something else going on. They're technically good at it. They're a good fit mutually. They work hard. They're financially stable, whatever it is. The uncomfortable idea is that sometimes people play up the passion card to kind of cover for lacking the actual tangible qualifications.
So less about the Feelings intensity, more about substance and hard work, which seems to flow right into the final big point. A good life comes from doing, not just thinking about doing.
Absolutely. The source hammers this home. Abstract ideas like positive mindset or purpose or even passion itself, they aren't just found by thinking. They're built. Built through the nitty-gritty, ass on the ground, nose to the grindstone, hard work.
Right.
Confidence, good relationships, feeling positive, having purposeful work. You don't just find these states, you build them by consistently doing the work required. The essay thinks that maybe avoiding that hard work, maybe fearing failure, is why people get stuck just thinking about passion.
And it wraps up by suggesting that relying only on passion can sometimes be the easy way out.
Yeah.
The shortcut that backfires.
It does. It uses examples like, taking on huge student debt for a degree you're passionate about, but with zero logical thought about jobs or paying it back.
Or staying in destructive relationships because the drama feels intense and familiar.
Exactly. Familiar passion, even if it's painful. Recreating old patterns. These are consequences, the source argues, of just following feelings without asking logically, where does this feeling come from? What will the outcome likely be? Passion might keep an idea alive.
But not reality.
But not reality, not on its own.
Okay. Wow. That is definitely a lot to chew on. It really shifts the perspective away from just feel the feeling towards, well, reason and action.
It really does. And the big takeaway, I think, isn't passion bad. Not at all. The source seems to be saying passion is powerful, it's valuable fuel, but only when it's partnered with and guided by logic.
Right. Logic gives you that framework for navigating those conflicting desires, aiming for what you really want long term.
For building stable relationships based on purpose, not just fleeting highs.
Seeing reality clearly, even when feelings are strong. Planning for the future you, not just the past you.
Maximizing your actual potential, not just chasing idealized dreams. Building resilience. Countering that unhealthy attachment.
Cultivating gratitude consciously. Managing tough emotions by understanding them.
Pursuing things from a place of wholeness, not lack. Focusing on real qualifications. And yeah, crucially, prioritizing the actual doing, the work.
So by bringing logic into the picture alongside passion, the idea is you're just much better equipped to build a life that's not just intensely felt sometimes,
Right.
but is genuinely well-lived, aligned with something deeper, and maybe avoids those pitfalls of just chasing the next emotional rush.
That seems to be the core message. A partnership between head and heart, guided by reason.
It definitely gives you a different lens, doesn't it? So maybe a final thought for you listening. How might making that distinction between the intensity of a feeling, that pull of passion, and the reasoned logical evaluation of its value, its source, its likely consequences, how might that change a decision you're wrestling with right now in your own life?